Now, further on the previous PMS2, that is balanced scorecard. Now we are going to discuss 4DX, which is 4DX. 4 stands for 4, D stands for discipline, EX stands for execution. The 4DX is a concept which has been practiced by some of the leading corporates in India and also abroad. Procter and Gamble, Coca-Cola. So the company like GE, they practice very extensively 4DX. Who's the author? The authors are Chris. I can say this man face may be very familiar because Stephen Covey, where they conduct a program very frequently. So this man is the anchor man for them. Then Stephen Covey, the next author, who's also contributed for development of this concept called 4DX. The third one is Ling, is a third person who has also contributed for the development of this 4DX. The 4DX is the most powerful and practical way of executing the performance related initiatives in the organization. What is this 4DX all about? One is discipline of focus, or in short form, if I say focus, leverage, engagement, and accountability. So focus, leverage, engagement on and accountability. What is that we have to focus? We have to focus wildly important goals. And what is that we have to leverage? We have to act on lead measures. What is that we have to engage? We have to have a compelling scorecard. And what is the accountability? Accountability is presence of accountability is very, very important and crucial for the success of 4DX. Generally, in the corporate world, we try to have challenges for execution. And first, let us look at some of the challenges for execution. One is the biggest challenge faced by the leaders, that is a CEO or a general manager or a manager, is what strategy or plan to execute. They know, but how this strategy has to be executed, that is the biggest challenge. So when you talk about the what strategy to be executed, at the stroke of pen, you can decide what strategy you can execute. Easily you can decide. Suppose I want to invest more and expand. It is easier. But what is the difficult part of the implementation is the behavioral change. How people will change, how people will try to understand the importance of the strategy. Because the strategy implementation requires lot of changes in human behavior. Now I stop for a second. Are you able to hear me better now, or still you have a problem of hearing me?
Yes, sir, it is better now.
It is better than okay. Now here it is the biggest challenge we find in the behavioral change. That's the first challenge in the execution, because always a human being has got a resistance. So it is a real challenge. Okay, then the second important challenge what we face is conducted through a survey. We find if you do the survey on strategy, the goal what is set from the strategy, it doesn't resemble what exactly formulated by the leader or by the corporate. In the 81% of the population, they don't hold accountable for implementation of the strategy. If you go back on the balanced scorecard, where we have seen there are 4 levels at which this matrix can be evolved on the 4 perspectives. And classical example of G is explained, where all the 4 levels in the organization, from corporate to division, division to plant, plant to frontline people. So how it is being cascaded into the lost frontline people. So this is the same problem, is a execution challenge. They are day in, day out, the executives face. How the balance scorecard helps in solving this challenge, and similar way, the 4DX also. But sometimes there are people down the line may not have the clarity, may not understand what is communicated. So this is also another drawback or a challenge in the execution. If you put it in a nutshell, the real issues are non-awareness about the goals to be achieved, commitment to achievement, or a kind of a lack of motivation to achieve, or knowledge on what to do, they are not aware. And fourth important element is they are not worried about anything on accountability. So these are some of the challenges normally the execution side we face. So naturally, what is required is a significant behavioral change is required. A better customer satisfaction I want to achieve. That better customer satisfaction probably can be achieved unless the down the line, the front line people also have the same feel while delivering the customer or fulfilling the customer expectation. If they don't do that, then naturally, whatever the strategies formulated at the leadership level will not get translated into research. So the significant behavioral changes is one of the important elements. This is what the Edward Deming, who is a quality guru, also talking about. It is not only the people problem and At times the people are also not a problem, but there is a problem inherent in the system also creates the behavior. So this is what the one of the key observation of the Deming. So when you go to the execution challenge, imagine most of us logged in here for this program. When you walk into your office, you feel there are problems waiting at the gate. Say, for example, somebody logged in the GMHR. Suppose it happens when he enters the gate, the security man says, "Sir, some 15 workers are not taken the food at canteen because the quality is poor. They are not able to take, and they also make others also not taking the breakfast. Then this gentleman has to rush to the canteen and resolve. This is exactly this concept recognize such activities of the daily core activities of the executives as whirlwind activities. Whirlwind activities on which we try to act upon almost 95% of the time what we have. But on the otherwise, there are some new activities that would eventually help us to realize the goals of the organization, which we may not be able to do because of the paucity of time or the time is sucked by whirlwind on our daily jobs. So, if you take whirlwind, you try to act on you, whereas on goals, you have to act on them to get the results. So that way you find the challenging lies not in the formulation or in the deployment, but in the execution of important goals in the mix of whirlwind activities what we face in our daily jobs. If you look at this whirlwind, is all rupees and a paisa. So the whirlwind we try to look at and try to chase. Now, what is fourth discipline of execution all about? In the beginning, I said the fourth discipline is all about widely important goals on which we have to focus. That is called lead and act on the lead measures. And we should have the scorecard at all levels, and we should also create accountability. So these four is the four aspects are focused. Then naturally we are able to achieve the goals that we set for realizing the strategies formulated to realize the business plan. And somebody was asking in an earlier discussion in the business plan, there is something called Y on Y, that is year on year. So the business plan can also go on the basis of year on year. Not necessarily you should go on 3 plus 1 plus 3 or 2 plus 1 plus 2, etc. So that way, if you look at how do you try to find time for widely important goals, but we cannot say the whirlwind related activities we cannot keep aside because that is part and parcel of our job. But the whirlwind is really posting the challenges and challenges for not focusing on widely important goals, that is on big. So that is the core aspects emphasized in the 4 years. Now we'll go to the next. So what is big all about? See, widely important goal need not be 18, 19, 20. No, it could be 1 or 2 or 2 or 3, not more than that. That is what the widely important goals. So when you have the widely important goals, sometimes the widely important goals which is really focused well, then whirlwind will not control us throughout the day on our job. So this is where when you fail to recognize the importance of widely important goals, it is trying to create a kind of an atmosphere where the organization loses its sight to achieve its business results. So the focus on widely important goal is really helping us through lead measures. We have seen in the lead and lag measures where if you take lag measures, the lag measures are otherwise we call it as a resultant measure. Lag measures are always called as a resultant measure. Say, for example, very easiest way of understanding. We are satisfied with one particular restaurant food. Why we are satisfied? Satisfaction of ours is a lag measure. What are the lead measures? What made you to satisfy? Price, ambience, quality of the food, the manner in which it is served by the bearer. So this could be any one of the variable that act as a lead measures. So always the lead measures, it is a predictive and it can be influenced by the team members. So when I have the lead measures always we have to focus. That is what even the previous tool where the lead measures or when you have the learning and growth, lead measures are fulfilled, then that automatically pushes you to the next level of improving your internal business process. If you the lead measures of internal business process is pushed to the next level, that leads to the customer satisfaction in the BAC, that is balanced scorecard, because the lead measure is internal business process improvement, lag measure is more and more customer comes. When more and more customer comes, it is a lead measure. The lag measure is more and more revenue. So this is how you have to understand the lead and lag measures. I'll give you another simple everyday example. If there is a drought, the drought is lag measure. The lead measure is lack of rain. Could be the drought. Okay, the same drought can become a lead measure for escalated commodity prices. So escalated commodity prices will become a lag measure. But same escalated commodity prices will become a lead measure, which means the lag measure will be losing the capability, purchasing capability in the people. So like that, the lead and lag goes on and on. In this 4DX, we got to focus on all possible lead measures. All possible lead measures have to be identified. See, this is the lead measures. If you identify more and more, that is the secret of a clear, seamless execution of your strategy. So this is the second discipline what we have to follow. The third discipline is there should be a scoreboard. You may have the idea of keeping the scoreboard at the leadership level. That is, a CEO can have, or a department manager can have. I am a worker, why should I have? Or I am a supervisor, why should I have? So this attitude is no place in the 4DX execution, where you require very clearly a compelling scorecard for all levels. So when you have the first one focusing on widely important goals, the second one give emphasis on lead measures that would eventually help us to achieve the lag measures. And third, if we keep the scorecard, a compelling scorecard, then that facilitate the whole process of achieving the results. The fourth one is the cadence of accountability. The cadence of accountability, when the execution really happens, that is using all the three important discipline what we talked about, then automatically the accountability in the organization improves. When you take weekly 2 or 3 minutes, 20 or 30 minutes meeting on the week, that is widely important goal, probably it is 2 or 3, then that would help to achieve the business results. Okay, then while doing that, the accountability comes through the review, and whatever the lead measures taken by the team members, where do they stay with reference to achievements? In the 4DX, one of the important aspect is 4DX calls for intermediary goals. That shows that we are moving towards the ultimate goals. See, for example, the organization should achieve a 50 crore per month of sales. Then on a weekly meeting in the 4DX, we have to achieve at least 50 crores per month, or 10 crores per month, so in order to reach the 50 crores. When you do this review, you know pretty well if the person achieves or the team achieves only 3 or 4 crores, that clearly indicates that it is highly impossible to end of the 4 weeks to achieve the 50 crores. So this is exactly the accountability improves, because we had a widely important goals focused with the lead measures in our hand, and the lead measures helping us to get the lag measures, achieve the lag measures, and that definitely reflected in the compelling scorecard that is being in display at all levels. That's a corporate or division or a plant or at the shop floor level. The scorecard review makes the accountability, the cadence of accountability improvement in the 4DX, and thereby it brings the execution is easier. Okay. Today, if you look at 20% of the time and effort, probably we spend on the lead measures. Remaining 80% of the time, we try to waste on the whirlwind, that is attacking the problems of the day. But we can be something also taken from the whirlwind. Okay, but the weak is not something new. It is known to everyone. But what is lagging is the focused attention is not there to look at the big. So this is the fourth discipline what one has to know if you really want to understand the widely important goal. What is widely important goal? If you take the goals in a conventional thinking, you take 5 or 10 or 15 in your performance matrix and try to go through. But whereas here in 4DX principle, it doesn't ask you to take so many goals. It asks you to take only few goals. Only few goals that few is not more than 1 or 2 or maximum 3. So when you take such numbers, then the focus improves. When the focus improves, the efforts also improves. So naturally, the organization gets the better business results because of the widely important goal focused. So this is where the first discipline one has to do. So identifying the widely important goals. How to identify? Widely important goals, it comes either from within or from outside. I told you one example, that the example is very simple example, where when the HR man walked into organization, there is a issue in canteen. Okay, now this is a whirlwind which is going to take away the whole day. So when you focus this whirlwind, then the performance in other area will ignore. All our energy will be channelized for attacking this whirlwind. So naturally, how do I make widely important goals? I will take some lead measures. Why these people are not taking the food? The probable causes may be the quality, quantum, or serving, or the individual behavior to refuse the food. So like that, or 5 or 6 lead measures will be there. If you start attacking all probable lead measures, the lag measures of a smooth running of cafeteria, then that would facilitate the process better, and the whirlwind activity will come down. So this is exactly what the big facilitate and helps. So when you have the first rule is you have a not more than 2 or 3 weeks. So that is 2 or 3 weeks are nothing but the 2 or 3 are battles. If you look at this schematic which is given, the greater war, whatever the examples we have drawn, ultimately a smooth running of industrial canteen or industrial cafeteria. So when you have the battles, what are the battles? The battles are nothing but the lead measures what we have taken as a wild important goals. Those lead measures you try to focus and then try to push and find solution. The solution, long-lasting solution. When you do that, then the lag measure of the peace and tranquility is being established. So what are the fewest number of battles that are necessary to win the war? That we have to look at it. The third rule is it is not The senior leaders, when they participate in choosing the week, that is choosing the only important goals, always they may try to veto. They say that you have to take this only. You cannot take this week, cannot take that week. So they try to have the this one. So in this case, they try to have top-down and bottom-up approach. Through iteration, they try to arrive at a week, what is most needed for the organization. The rule number 4 is as a finishing line. Where are you today? Where you want to go? But in between, you have to have the milestones. If you achieve those milestones, then you will definitely achieve the end results. So that way, you find which should be realistic and achievable. So we, no matter what one or two goals we have, but by achieving that, we will come out of the whirlwind activities, what we have day in, day out in our job. If you go back in 1961, the John F. Kennedy, the president of US, he talked about land a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth. He said in 1961. But after 8 years, it had happened, the man has landed in the moon. So the lead measures and lag measures, if you look at, the lead measure is a thought-provoking, motivating push by the president of the country, and that created a kind of a motivation for the people to work towards achieving of sending a man to moon. So that way, if you look at in the business also, you can have, I want to improve my revenue by 10% or 25%. I want to achieve the satisfaction score, or I would like to raise the client relationship score. So all these things are some of the lead measures, lag measures. Those lag measures can be achieved by widely important goals and properly drawn up lead measures. Now we go to the next step, the lead measures. In the lead measures, that's a second discipline. The lag measures is the measurement of a result we are trying to achieve. What is our conventional thinking? The conventional thinking is, hey, we must get now the March, it is going to end. So our head count should be like this. Our employee cost should be so much of percentage to the sales. Our welfare budget should not exceed so many percentage to the total employee, total manpower related cost. So like that we try to have a conventional thinking. Whereas 4DX is totally thinking differently. In the sense, 4DX is trying to look at your widely held goals of having a controlling the employee cost through certain lead measures. Lead measures are, okay, I look at wherever the employees are excessively employed, those numbers are doing better. That's one lead measure. The second lead measure, probably I'll say the low cost employee. That would help me. Then third, in a older organization, you may even announce a voluntary retirement scheme that would facilitate the bringing down the numbers of the people, and thereby the cost can be brought down. Like that, these lead measures will help you when you work on automatically the lag measure of achieving the whatever the employee cost as a lag measure, which should easily be achieved. So this is what when you act on the lead measure, you will get the advantage of achieving the lag measure. Now we move on to the next important issue here. Suppose in the lead measure is basically predictive, which means the lead measure changes. You can predict that the lag measure also will change. as I told you, one simple common example where if you reduce the head count, naturally your payroll cost will come down. Okay, so the predictive measure, that is the lead measure, will give you the lag measure of reducing the employee cost. So that way, the predictive measure of a lead measure that influences directly the lag measure. So that way, the team members have to work, each one has to work on a chosen lead measures. See, if you take lead and lag together, and definitely by knitting this lead, lag, then the organization will be in a position to get its results achieved. Okay, now we go to the next. If you look at here, it is a simple fulcrum. What we try to see even in school days, we have studied in the science. So it depends on the lever where we fix. If the lever is very closer to the object, that would help to lift easily. If the lever is very closer to the person who is handling, then it is very difficult to move the stone. So that way, when you act on the lead measures, we should say what lead measures are influencing that would eventually predict the lag measure. So this is where the key success lies. So how effectively you use the lead measure and how effectively you get the lag measure in the organization. So we move to the next. When you take the newspaper company, so the newspaper company, suppose you increase the number of new customers or potential advertisers are not willing to give advertisement. The potential customer, when it is increased, that's one lead measure. Another lead measure may be the customers who have not renewed the subscription. We try to go them and gather with them and then try to make them to renew the subscription. That will be another lead measure. The third, probably you find a new geographical area where it is unsold and try to go and then try to sell. So this kind of a lead measure will ultimately lead to a circulation more and more of results in the form of lag measure that clearly enable the organization to improve the business prospects. So this is where you have to understand. Suppose there is a percentage of drop, a clear percentage of drop of sales in a retail. What is that you can do? Because it is very, very challenging. Even after the challenging time, the Reliance retail, one part of their business, they closed up. If you look at here, the year-over-year log, you have to go through which customer has come to now, which now is not coming. I'll tell you a very simple example. If you are in city of Chennai, the Chennai Court area had certain stores that cloth selling stores. Those stores now are got a branches in periphery of city of Chennai. Now people walking in the core part of the Chennai for making their purchase, garment purchase or saree purchase or anything, they don't come. Then footfall has also come down drastically because the other new stores created are very closer to them. So the convenient sourcing makes them to stay away from the loyal stores where they used to purchase earlier. So these kind of challenges, when they come up, then these challenges can be controlled through understanding the lead and lag measures relationship. The, the third discipline, again, it's a company scorecard. The conventional thinking, if you look at, always the scorecard is meant for only the leaders or the top man in the organization or top man in the department. It is not so. It is meant for everyone. Okay. To drive the execution, all the players should have the scorecard and should have the some pictographical representation of the data in the form of graphs, chart, etc. That would only help the visible compelling scorecard to motivate all levels of the people to push through or move towards the goals to be achieved. So that way you find that the keep a compelling scorecard becomes important. So the conventional thinking to get converted into 4DX principle. So this is you take. You have the very simple kind of a compelling scorecard. This scorecard has a goat, so got a man chasing the goat. But here the goat may be your computer, the man may be you, your company. So it may look simple, but when you look at this in a 5 second, the pictographical representation reveals the status of your business. So naturally, you got to have a compelling scorecard for successful implementation of the 4 disciplines. And finally, we have the accountability, patterns of accountability. If you look at the patterns of the accountability, in a conventional thinking, the accountability is always top down. We meet the boss regularly and explain to him and what we are doing, what we are planning to do, all these things we discuss. This is a conventional way of working. Whereas here in the 4DX, the conventions are shattered and accountability is fixed on everyone, including the leader. So the leader also comes down and makes his commitment for achieving the results. So naturally, the people don't go by the hierarchical level. They all come together as a team, as per the 4DX principle, and then they work together. When they work together, in a week session for 30 minutes, even every week, the lag measures towards which the achievement of lead measures will help us to move. So truly, it may be amazing. A simple meeting will turn around a goal on a weekly basis or an extended period of time, and the organization gets benefited. You look at in the three-part agenda of any widely important goal sessions what we have. One is accountability, where you try to give a commitment. For example, let us go back the case of improving the market share of the newspaper. The individual may committed for improving the potential customer by 5%. So that is the lead measure. So naturally that lead measure, there is a meeting, the individual has to report, okay, and say the 5% of the people will definitely will help the organization to improve the market share. So that out of that 5%, this week, the person who has been assigned with the task, how far he is able to achieve it. Sir, I achieved 1.5%. So that 1.5% improvement in the new customer, to that extent, it should reflect in the lag measure of the improved newspaper circulation. So when you review the scorecard in a weekly meeting, the lead and lag will give a clear path. Then the next question comes, when do you achieve the balance 3.5%? Sir, I'll do it in the third week of this. Then automatically the goal or the VAG is fixed on the third week. So like that, the whole process goes in a more systematic way and staying away from the conventional thinking and the style of working is also changed to 4DX principle. The fourth important discipline is create culture of accountability. The culture of accountability where, as I told you, you have to take one or two lead measures in a week to attack or to achieve. When you take one or two, then what is the most important thing I can do this week? You keep thinking. Whereas the whirlwind take away your time. But when you have the week with you, the whirlwind will allow you to allocate time for looking at the week. So naturally the week makes you to focus on what is needed by the business. So naturally, what can I do this week to impact the lead measure will make you to work in a more disciplined, in a changed behavioral manner, as we have seen in the beginning. The behavior becomes the most important element. The behavior change becomes most important element. So that facilitates the process. And also the cadence of accountability also goes up to the next higher level. So installing 4DX with your team, the best way is identify the big, identify high leverage lead measures and create a scoreboard and schedule the big session at least weekly and without forgetting you hold the review on a continuous basis in order to achieve the lag measures easily. So recognize the adoption of your new 4DX process will take time because the people have to change their behavior to settle down on the new concepts and new tools. So naturally, who gets on board and those who struggle at first will take some time. Sometimes you have people who also resist to get on board. So these are all the problems what you confront in doing this. So what are the organizations that are practicing these 4DX? The Procter and Gamble, which is known for rigorous strategy execution process, which aligns his all his strategic intent in the 4DX execution concept and try to do this exercise, and thereby it improves the performance. Coca-Cola is another a similar framework to execute its strategy, focusing 4D concept of direction, deployment, discipline, and drive. Direction, deployment, discipline, and drive. Then practicing organization. Other which we have seen 3R. That strategy execution is again they adapt this 4D, which enables the organization be a more innovative because 3M is known for innovation. So more innovative and stay competitive. And another organization is a GE Electric, which executes the 4D concepts and they term it as a GE way. So that way, these are some of the notable organizations which I thought I should share with you to get their conviction on the tool of executing 4DX. But 4DX is being practiced in some of the previous organizations and the leading organizations, even the organizations like jewelries like GRT, or even the organization which makes the food products or it supplies the milk, like companies like Kevin Cat. All these organizations, they try to practice these 4 pillars. But if you are in city of Chennai or in Tamil Nadu, you can see the magazines like Ananda Vigadan, that is one of the most oldest magazine. Now it is more of a e-magazine than the print magazine. They also practice very vigorously the concept of 4DX that improves their business results. So that way you find that this tool is very handy. Okay, at the same time, how do I create a cadence of accountability? That is very important. Creating a first is we have to watch out, avoid the common pitfalls. Whirlwind responsibility when you have one side and big responsibility on the other side. You have to understand the big responsibility should also be given adequate time. Okay. Holding big session without no specific outcome will not be of any use because all the lead measures have to be reviewed on weekly basis, and all the lead measures should also give you a kind of progress. How they are the last week, how they are this week, it has to be recorded. Repeating the same commitment for more than 2 occasions, that clearly shows that lead measures, either the individual is not able to resolve or the lead measures are impossible for him to achieve. So naturally the delay will be there in achieving the lag measures. So these are the pitfalls what we have to look forward. How do I be successful in implementing this? Don't postpone the meeting schedule for widely important goals review. Keep the sessions as brief as possible, not more than 20 to 30 minutes as I explained earlier. As a leader, we have to set the standards for lead and post the scoreboard well in advance before the start of the meeting, so that the individual will go through and come back what they have achieved, what they have not achieved, and share the learnings in achieving each of the lead measures and clear the path for each other. Sometimes it is an interdiscipline or it is a cross-functional subject. Then we have to have this very clearly in mind. Execute in spite of the whirlwind what we are supposed to counter on every day in our job. So with that, we have come to the conclusion of 4DX. Again, I repeat, the 4th discipline of execution is a very simple tool based on the concept of 1. Keep a focus on your widely important goals. At the same time, you cannot ignore your whirlwind also. Second, you try to create a good lead measures that will eventually facilitate the process of achieving the lag measure, that is nothing but resultant measure. Third, you have to have a scoreboard at all levels to measure the lead measures, that is VIG, and its progress and contribution of each members of the team and pushing towards achieving the lag measure. The 4th important one, the cadence of accountability of the team members. This 4DX, that is 4th discipline of execution, will definitely enable the organization to implement the strategies formulated at the corporate level and take those strategies through a big lead measures and accompanying scoreboard and create a sense of accountability in the midst of variability. I thank you all of you, and now the floor is open for the question. The question for both the session. Now, if people want to open the video also, they can do so. So, Dinesh, anything, any clarification is required or Dinesh, Sridharan? Madam, Gita, madam, you need any explanations or anything? Somebody logged in by GNHR, have any Matra, Navina, something by name BioLine Laboratory, some people have registered. Any question? Madam Gita, madam, you asked about why on why is year on year. And here I will take or that for the next year. So like that I'll keep moving.
Can you go to that slide? Y and what is the other method?
No, all the four methods I have explained. And you only one say I have four methods. Arthur Anderson method, which is 3 plus 1 plus 3. I explained 2 plus 1 plus 2. Okay. The second one is yo-yo method. Okay. For yo-yo method, somebody has given the explanation. I beg to differ with him. I'm sorry. Yo-yo method is as it comes, you take and then leave it. You don't care about anything. Okay, that is we classify as a yo-yo company. Okay, they don't. Which means there will be a conglomerate of the company. Which means the company will have some 30 business or 25 business. Out of that, they may be having some 2 or 3 small businesses. They don't care. They go this year, we make money, then they make money. When the sun shines, they take that product and sell for the year and give it up and go for the another one. So the yo-yo company has got a different models of business. Okay. The third one is Y on Y. That is year on year. This year I achieved the sales of 500 crores and profit of 40 crores. Then next year I will achieve at least 15% or 20% more than this. That is how I formulate my budget and business plan. Hope I have clarified your doubt. Still you want, I can go to that slide also. It's not an issue. No reply, madam. You want to say yes or no?
Fourth method is, can you share that slide?
You want that slide? I'll do one thing. You give me 2 minutes because that is in a different slide. I'll stop sharing, then I'll have to go back to my exercise and get that again. Okay. Wait a minute. I'll do that. This is a slide what you want. This is a slide what we have, madam. Hope the screen is you are able to see. You are able to see the screen. You go to that slide and leave it there. You can read yourself and put back your question. This is the foundation of formulation of business plan. And Arthur Anderson model talks about 3+1. Sorry. Then we have yo-yo model. Then we have one-on-one. Are you clear now? Rita madam?
Yeah,
Now you are able to see the slide.
yeah, I can see that.
Oh.
Can you share the PPT?
So we give you all the base materials that will be given by the X3. Okay, that in the base material, all the issues will be covered. The business plan itself is a separate subject by itself, and it will take time to do. But what is needed here is, I will again repeat, if you want to summarize the entire balance scorecard, if somebody felt that they do not understand the concepts, I have gone at a higher speed or something. Okay, but I would like to again summarize one by one, step by step. Step one, this is a concept based on a simple fact that only measuring the financial measure is not good enough to understand your business where you are. You should measure the non-financial measures also. The second principle, non-financial measure, if you manage well, you don't require any initiative for achieving the financial measure. You would have seen from a slide of airlines industry where we discussed that. Then the third one, the balance scorecard is intended to implement the strategy of the organization as an operational measures and taken to the frontline level. That is from the corporate, division, plant, and the frontline. So at all levels, it is taken through by cascading the measures and targets to the last man in the last team in the organization. It is a team performance measuring tool. And coming to the author, Kaplan and Norton, they have done extensive research on the concept on a continuous basis. And there are 6 voluminous books released by them. And every time when they release the book, not for the money, to bring back the concept in its originality and improve the concept for better implementation. Whether it is alignment of the strategy or alignment of the measures, because you know the lead measures and lag measures, the lead measures of the 4 perspectives, we have to understand. The learning and growth lead measures will be creating a lag measures for the internal business process. Then internal business process lag measures will act as a lead measures for creating a lag measures for the customer perspective. The customer perspective lag measures will become a lead measures that would eventually deliver the financial perspective goals. So each matrix, each strategy will have 3 minimum themes. Maximum it can have 5 themes, not more than that. This is also one of the basic discipline in implementing the balance scorecard. Then the balance scorecard in each theme will have 1 matrix covering 4 perspectives, what explained. And each matrix of 1 theme will have a element called, one is the theme, the second objective, the third one is a measure, what you want to measure, the fourth one is a target, fifth one is a initiative, and sixth column is a responsibility to implement this initiative. So each matrix will have this, right? Then coming to this responsibility, author says something, but in reality, a practitioner like you and me using it differently. The sixth column talks about the implementation. And the implementation we classify into three different teams. One is a leadership team, the second is middle management team, the third one is measurement team. The measurement team is the one which is really implementing this concept. Okay, middle management team has to make resources for implementing this concept. Leadership team is a more of a think tank team which produces the strategy and also monitor the whole process of implementation and achieving the business success. This is how the whole balance scorecard can be summarized. And this is summarized to my best of ability and understanding as a practitioner, and also proud to say that a doctoral scholar in the subject of performance management system. Any questions? If there are no questions, I leave the floor to Madam to take over.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
So, you can give your feedback, and the rest of the thing will be taken care by H3. Okay. We'll close the session. Thank you once and for all on behalf of H3, Mr. Chidambaram, and also on my own behalf as a resource person of the subject. Thanks for attending this session. Hopefully, you have taken a few points out of this session that would be implemented at your website at the earliest possible time. Thank you. So now we can disconnect this program.